Hello and welcome to AutoEV, but more importantly, welcome to the English National Ballet. Now, we're not here to see men in tights this evening, but we're actually here to see one of 2020's most hotly anticipated electric vehicles, the new Porsche Taycan. Now, I know that we've seen the car before, we've featured it on our channel at the reveal at Frankfurt, and there are other channels and magazines who have already driven the car. But we've been invited here by Porsche UK for the UK preview of Taycan. So we thought we'd bring you with us. Nope, no need to thank us, it is Christmas after all. Now, before I joined AutoEV, I spent 27 years in the motor trade, 20 of which wedded to my beloved Aston Martin. But I've always had a mistress in Porsche. In fact, although I've owned Aston Martins, I've actually owned more Porsches. So, I have a bit of a vested interest in this car. I want to know, is the Taycan a true Porsche, or is it just another electric vehicle masquerading as one? So, let's just refresh our minds as to the Taycan's lineup. The launch at Frankfurt featured the Turbo and Turbo S, and it was alluded to there that more, less expensive variants would be announced soon. And a few weeks later, the Taycan 4S was shown. So it comes at the moment in those three levels of trim and power. And that is what Turbo is now in the Porsche range, a trim level. With all 911s featuring turbocharged petrol engines, Porsche now see the Turbo badge as the pinnacle model in the range. I still think it's wrong personally, but there you go. So, power levels aren't quite so clear cut as the car delivers an overboost function depending on what you're doing with it. If you are using launch control, for instance, the car's power increases dramatically. The Taycan Turbo S sits at the very top with a maximum power output of 761 PS. Then the Taycan Turbo comes in at 680 PS and the 4S at 530 PS. Now remember, these figures are based on the launch control giving that overboost function, so power outputs of each model drop a little when in normal mode. But even so, even the very basic 4S is still a very powerful car. The Turbo S can dispatch a 0 to 60 mph time of less than 3 seconds, with the 4S posting a time of 4 seconds. So it certainly has the power and performance of a Porsche. So here we are inside the Taycan, and it's like I said, it is traditional Porsche in some respects, but with a real modern twist to it. This single screen that we've got in front of the driver, same shape as the old 5-gauge cluster of the original 911s. Doesn't have a shroud over the top of it, it's just a digital display. And along here we've got a central display, one in front of the passenger, and then this screen down here where all climate controls and certain controls are thingied for. And again, a real favourite thing of mine, haptic feedback, so you know you've pressed the buttons. The driving position, this is a turbo model that we're in. Driving position is very nice, the seats typical Porsche, just enough support, really hold you firm. This nice 3-spoke steering wheel, and you've got your drive mode select dial here. It's trimmed really nicely. This car's got leather, it's got the leather up on the dash, it's got the sport chrono pack, got things like the little embellishments of wood down here, down the central spine, a couple of big cup holders in here. This car's got a big glass panoramic roof, although for some reason they've wrapped it in white above the car, I'm not sure why. Let's check out the back and see what we think in the back as well. Like I said, it's somewhere in size between 911 and Panamera. I mean, again, I've got enough room behind me, but it's a strict 2-seater back here. Really cleverly with the battery packaging underneath in, as I say, this skateboard style. What they've managed to do is they've managed to shape it so that the batteries sit underneath certain areas so it doesn't actually compromise rear accommodation. Very, very clever and pure Porsche engineering. This is Porsche's first full production electric vehicle, and instead of electrifying an existing model like say a Cayenne, it's decided to do a proper sports car. So given the company's famous for its sports cars, it certainly hasn't carried out in any half measures. Taycan sits on a unique platform and it adopts a skateboard-like platform for housing the batteries, which are sandwiched in a sealed frame of aluminium. Now this construction method keeps weight down, which is the enemy of any sports car. Now let's get even more technical. The system is an 800 volt system, the very first in an EV, as most are 400 volt systems. Now the benefits of this is consistent performance, faster charging, and again lighter weight due to a smaller amount of cabling required. It also features a very clever cooling system that ensures the batteries are kept as thermally efficient as possible. So whilst Tesla may claim that the Model S is still the traffic light YouTube king, the Taycan counters with being able to do it every time the performance is called upon, whereas the Tesla needs time to recuperate its heat. Now depending on model and battery specified, the range can be up to 279 miles according to WLTP figures. At the moment, all Taycans are all-wheel drive, so 2 motors, 1 on each axle, delivering drive to all 4 wheels. But here's the clever part. The car has in effect 2 transmissions, a single speed for the front axle, but a 2-speed one at the rear. Now this gives a maximum acceleration using one of those, and then greater efficiency and range using the second at higher cruising speeds. The brakes are clever too, and Porsche have coated the non-ceramic discs with a special material so they don't rust up due to them not being used as often as a conventional car thanks to brake regeneration. Porsche have also for the first time set a time replacement for brake pads in order for them to maintain consistent performance, which is 6 years. Driving modes are range, normal, sport and sport plus, and these are selected by the driver. Range will obviously limit certain things in order to maximise distance between charging. Normal is, well, normal. Sport starts to change things up a little with the drive being more rear biased, and then Sport Plus will crank it up to 11 and maximise battery's thermal efficiency in order to deliver that consistent performance. The turbo cars also feature an element of rear wheel steer to sharpen things up. The car also has a 3-stage air suspension system too, which will also vary itself depending on what mode the driver has selected. So, it's engineered like a Porsche. Now personally, I think the Taycan is a great looking car. It's recognisable as a Porsche, but with just enough new features and lines to differentiate it as the next generation away from the 911 and Panamera. It features this new signature rear light bar and this lovely squat rear end. Surprisingly for its design, it's not actually a hatchback but a 4-door saloon with a boot. It's smaller inside than a Panamera, so think of it as somewhere between that car and a 911. Its 2 rear seats are accommodating enough for 2 adults, but it is slightly more compromised than the Panamera. Now, the fascia evokes the styling of the old traditional 5-gauge cluster of old 911s, albeit with a modern digital display. You also have screens right across the dash with touch-sensitive controls. Now, I'm not so sure about the need for front passengers to have a screen in front of them, but I'm sure some gadget freaks will love it. And of course, there is a large amount of personalisation available too, so you can make your Taycan truly your own. So, from in here, it certainly feels like a Porsche. Turbo S and Turbo models cost from £138,000 and £115,000, whereas the 4S starts at £83,000. Now these prices are for the standard battery cars, with the Performance Battery Plus variants costing a little more. So it's priced like a Porsche. So, you've watched our video. It's now my job to tell you to like and subscribe, and press the little bell button to receive notification of when our next video is uploaded. Sorry, what's that? You want more than just videos? Okay, did you know that AutoEV is also a website? That's right, autoev.co.uk. Not only is it all the latest news, reviews and musings, including motorsport from the electric vehicle world, but we've got literally hundreds of used electric vehicles for sale from dealers up and down the country.